What's up guys, it's Michael here. In this video, I'm gonna post a tutorial on how to fill out Form 1099 NEC and Schedule C within the form. So if you like this video, please click the subscribe button down below and let's begin the tutorial.
This tutorial is about Form 1099 NEC and Schedule C. So who prepares Schedule C? Who files Schedule C? Schedule C is for business who is not incorporated or is a LLC, a single member LLC, or self-employed. Then you prepare Schedule C to report your income and loss. Schedule C income will need to pay income tax and also need to pay self-employment tax. That is considered your wages, your compensation. Schedule C is due with Form 1040 on April 15 every year. So let's talk about how to report Schedule C. This section will basically just point you to the forms. So next section we can do a case study. So we can show everyone how to use a Schedule C, what line you should use for expenses. First of all, Schedule C income, it will be reported on page 1 of 1040 on line A. Line A right here you can see is other income from Schedule 1, line 10. So Schedule 1. Schedule 1 have two parts. So the first part is additional income. When you have Schedule C income, the Schedule C income will flow to here on part 1, line 3 as business income or loss. So right here, they ask you to attach Schedule C. And on part 2 of Schedule 1, there were a couple items. Line 15, 16, and 17. 15 is deductible part of self-employment tax. Remember, we talk about self-employed people, they have to pay income tax and also self-employment tax. Portion of the self-employment tax is deductible. So that deduction is going to be reported on line 15 over here. Also, if you are self-employed, you can also purchase retirement plan. Contribute to retirement plan, also deductible. So you can report on 16 over here. On 17, if you're self-employed, you pay for self-employed health insurance. Health insurance is also deductible on line 17. So pay close attention when you prepare the tax return and make sure that that number flow in here in the 17, because some of the software, they actually didn't work really well, have that number flow in here. Now, this is Schedule C. Schedule C is basically consists of 2 pages. On the first section right here, you prepare the general information. You put in line 1, you put in your, right here, line 1, you put in the business name, or the first line right here, you put in the name of your business, or you put in your own name, your social security number. And line C, put in the name. If you have another business name, you put in here. E, the business address, accounting method. So most of the LLC, unless you carry inventory, you may have accrue method. Most of the taxpayer, they have cash method. So G, if you actively and materially participate in this business, so you need to check yes. And H, if you start or acquire the business during the year, then you check this box as well. So now I and J right here is related to the 1099 we'll talk about. So you receive a 1099, you have income coming in, but yet you also pay outside contractor to help you on certain services. Then you need to issue 1099 to them. Right here, you need to check the box. Tell the service that, yes, you hire other people to help you. You incur those expenses. You file 1099. Have you filed one? Yes. So you make sure you check these 2 boxes. Now the part 1 in Schedule C is income. So where you report your income. When you receive a 1099 NEC, where do you input that? So there are two places you can input. One is as other income, you don't have other deductions. So you basically just put into Schedule 1 directly. If you have expenses, then make sure you use Schedule C. 1099 NEC income, you put in 9-1 right here. You put in 9-1. And then you have any return and allowance, you sell goods, sell merchandise, you report on line 2. If you cost anything to for you to generate that income, for example, you sell toys, but you need to incur expenses to buy the toys, that is cost of goods sold, then you need to put on line 4 over here. And then all the operating expenses you put into part 2 in Schedule C. So what are the expenses you can deduct? So we normally use Section 162 tax deduction. We can have a section to talk about Section 162 expenses. So basically, Section 162 tax deduction is expenses considered ordinary and necessary. When we say ordinary, that is commonly used, common expenses and acceptable expenses. Necessary is helpful and appropriate expenses for you to incur in order for you to make income. So let's go through some of this item right here. Advertising. You need to advertise expenses. You need to advertise your business in order for you to generate income. Car and truck expenses. If you purchase a car, then you can amortize it. You have amortization expenses or depreciation expenses over here. If you use your own car for business, you incur mileage. So the mileage can be car and truck expenses on line 9. Commission and fees. Commission and fees is the commission you pay to your salespeople or other people who help you to generate income. 11, contractor, where you pay contractor for service. 10 and 11, most likely, if you pay to individual or pay to unincorporated business, you need to send them a 1099 NEC. So line 12 is depletion, line 13 is depreciation. So if you purchase equipment for your business, then depreciation expenses need to be reported in here. 14, if you have employees, you pay for employee benefits. So the benefit is going to put it in here. 15 is insurance. If you have general business liability insurance, practice insurance, and the insurance amount is going to be on the 15. 16 is interest. Interest, if you have mortgage, you borrow business loan for your business, then the interest is put right here. 17, if you have legal fee, accounting fee, consulting fees, then you put on 17. 18 is general office expenses like paper, pencil, you can put in there. Pension and profit sharing, that if you set up a pension and profit sharing plan, you contribute to the plan for your employee, for yourself, then you put in line 19. Line 20 is rent. So if you rent an office and you pay to your landlord, and you may need to issue a 1099 miscellaneous for the amount to report on this line. Depends on the recipient. If the recipient is an individual, partnership, trust, you need to give them a 1099. Line 21 is repair and maintenance. So if you have any repair and maintenance related to your business, repair chair, office, and anything that you put on that line. Line 23 is tax license. Tax license only for the state tax, like state and local tax, not for federal tax. So your income tax for federal is not deductible. You cannot put it right here. 24 is the travel. Any business travel and business meal, you can put it right here. And on line 24B, you may notice as deductible meal. So for most of the year, most of the tax years, business meals only can be deducted 50%. So you can only put 50% of the spending over here. Utility, your office, water, and your trash, those expenses put on line 25. Line 26 is the wages. Wages you pay to your employees, you put in here. And 27 is any other expenses which you don't find in this list. So you put in line 27.8. On page 2, right here, there's another section right here is where you can put all the expenses. What other expenses you can put in? We talk about advertising, we'll talk about car and truck expenses, commission and fees, depreciation, employee benefit, insurance, interest, legal and professional services, and office expenses. All these expenses you are able to put in on page 1. So some people have like parking expenses, right? Some people have continued education expenses. So you can put all right here and one lump sum number, go back to page 1 right here, put on line 27.8. So the next section right here is your home office. So if you don't have a office outside of your home, you use your home as an office. So make sure you include the expenses on line 30. Right here, you put it in. So total line 31 is the total income and loss from Schedule C. Let's talk about that in a summary. You get a 1099 NEC. You report on line 1. So you have all the expenses which you have to incur in order for you to make that income. You report it in part 2 right here. So end up that you have line 31, you have a net income. That net income is going to report it in your 1040 income tax return. So page 2 also have other information is the cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold in case your business is in a selling business, like sell merchandise. So you have costs related to the merchandise. Those costs will be reported in part 3 over here. The purchase, how much you purchase, how much is cost of labor for them to deliver the goods, if you make those goods yourself, and what is the material and supplies, and how much inventory at the end of the year, then come up with the cost of goods sold. This cost of goods sold is going to go to page 1, right here, line 4. Now, part 4 right here is when you use your vehicle. So the company doesn't own the vehicle, you use your own vehicle for your business. So right here you tell the service when did you place your vehicle in service for your business, and what is the business mileage, what is commuting mileage, what is the total mileage, what other mileage, and do you have a record. So you should keep a very detailed records for all the mileage you use related to your business. So Schedule C is pretty straightforward. We can have a case study to go through this form. So this is a summary. When you receive a Form 1099 NEC, so you report it on box 1, and on Form 1099 NEC, there's number from box 1 and box 7. So you pick that number and drop into Schedule C, line 1, and include all the income and expenses related to the business. Once you come up with the net income, then we'll go to Schedule 1. Schedule 1 will allow you to take additional deductions such as self-employment tax, STEP IR, and also your insurance and medical insurance. After you take those deductions, that number is going to go to page 1 of Form 1040, which is line 8 for the year 2022. Then you combine those income with other income and calculate the tax. So that's how it works. We can have a case in the next section. So if you have any question, make sure you go back and check with your tax advisor. Thank you.